Working Interferences is intended for mature audiences. Since the hosts never grew up, someone needs to be the adult. Welcome to Working Interferences with Josh and Lance, the dental advice podcast for the average dentist. Here is Josh and Lance.
Bros, what is up? Welcome to the Working Interferences podcast, dental advice show. I'm Josh Walston.
And I am Lance Timmerman.
Lance, we have a guest on today, one of my favorite people in
the world.
Stupid little Facebook dental micro world. I don't know. What else would you call that? Micro penis?
Sure. Yeah.
Straight from Nashville, Nash Vegas. What other nicknames for Nashville are there?
Definitely not Nash Vegas. Definitely not that.
That's not a good one. We've got our good friend Tom Hadley on. Tom, what's up?
What up? How are you guys?
Thanks for coming on.
Pleasure. It's an honor.
We have a few questions before we get into the meat of the show. Number one, did you do the smile of a Grammy winner?
Maybe.
Oh, pulling the HIPAA on us, huh?
Well, I mean, let's just say, like, theoretically, if HIPAA didn't exist.
Okay.
If it did not exist, I would say yes.
Okay.
I did see veneers. I did on the Grammys. It's not because I'm that good. I'm just that lucky.
Well, so is that like a thing in the Nashville dental world of like it being a big deal to have worked on someone like that?
Yeah, it is. But most dentists also have Grammys.
They just give them out.
It's in this town. It's nuts. Now everybody in the town has one or two, or they have one that are gonna be famous.
Yeah. And the CMAs, don't they just hand those out at the door?
Pretty much. Yeah.
They drop them from a helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Like frozen turkeys.
Yeah. I would imagine it's a little bit like LA. You know, like Gina has kind of talked to me a little bit about maybe some of her potential celebrity patients and like A-list plus people. And I have like one guy who like wrote a couple of books and is on the Ringer like podcasts, and that's like the most famous person I have. Lance, you've done a couple Seahawks, I think.
Yeah, but they're role players and they got cut. So,
but still, like it's we're talking about like these quote unquote celebrities, and then it's like Gina's working on someone that's like literally on the cover of fucking People magazine like 30 times in their life, which is crazy. Are you team Taylor? Are you team Tay-Tay? Tom, are you
Sweezy?
Yeah, are you a Taylor Swift fan?
I have actually a pretty good story. I was at lunch at the burrito joint across the street from my office. And my office is just like 10 blocks from downtown. And I'm sitting there eating a burrito, and I hear an interview clearly going on, and it is the most annoying fucking interview ever. They're talking about like relationships, and I'm like, what is going on? I turn around, and there is like a 17-year-old Taylor Swift, 18-year-old Taylor Swift. It was about 10 years ago, so I don't know how old she was then. But and I mean, she was pretty famous, kind of like Pop-Tart then, not like, you know, mega icon.
Yeah, not icon. Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, holy crap, there's Taylor Swift. And, you know, I did one of those things where I acted like I was looking at my phone and took a backwards shot, you know, like total stalker creep style. But that was actually pretty neat. I'm a fan. She's all right.
I do like how you qualified it to make sure that you said she was 18 at the time.
I think so. Well, it was in public, you know. It was a burrito shop. It wasn't in the ladies' locker room.
Where'd you go to dental school?
Memphis.
That's where my dad went to dental school.
Did he really?
Yeah. So
did he hate it?
You know, not that I was ever told. Him and then my two mentors, Jim Summit and Bill Robbins, who are pretty well known dentists and wrote a couple of big textbooks, all went to that dental school. Brad Keener, I think, went to that dental school. Did Dan Smith go to that dental school?
Dan Smith is a fine dentist in Knoxville. Yes.
Yeah. So it's I have an affinity for that dental school.
There's one or two people in the northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, eastern Arkansas area that need a lot of dental work. So it's not like one of those things where we ever had to worry about getting patients in. So,
yeah, having enough surfaces of operative to get to. There's plenty.
There was plenty.
What's Memphis like to go to dental school? I mean, Memphis seems like a fun town in the time I've been there. I don't know about living there, but
it's a cool city. I mean, it's got its really great points, and it's got its some agitations.
Yeah, you mean like the 3 goth kids that they crucified for killing those boys, and then they actually didn't kill those boys.
Is it Free the West Memphis 3?
Yeah. That was on HBO not long ago, and they never really say Memphis, Tennessee. They always say West Memphis, Arkansas. So there's a very clear divide.
I think the people of Walmart was actually they coined the term there at the West Memphis Walmart, where I used to buy groceries. If you're ever in Memphis, you've really got to go to that Walmart in West Memphis. It's in Arkansas, across the river. It's something else.
One of my favorite movies is The Firm. It's just a phenomenal movie. It's the best part of The Firm. So Memphis is like a character in The Firm almost. It's like Beale Street, and there's multiple scenes down there. And the best is when Tom Cruise is getting chased around, and he's downtown. He's on one of the boats, and then he gets off the boat, and Wilford Brimley is the bad guy in The Firm, which is just amazing. And at some point, Tom Cruise corners him and kicks the shit out of Wilford Brimley. And it's just the coolest scene of all time, because here's the oatmeal guy who has diabetes, and it's Tom Cruise is literally kicking the life out of him. And
the late great Wilford Brimley.
The late great, and he actually died in that warehouse in Memphis that day when Tom Cruise kicked the hell out of him. But that's so when I think of Memphis, I think of the West Memphis 3, and then I think of The Firm. That's sort of my skewed view of Memphis.
That's not off. That's not
That's pretty close. Okay.
Pretty close. Yeah.
Now you've had a shitty 2020, yeah?
Oh man, it started. Yeah. Dude, I had back surgery. God, 1 star.
So back surgery. Then a tornado hits your office.
Yes, I got a new roof across the street. It's completely demolished still.
And when was that? Because that seems like it was 5 years ago.
It was March 3rd.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Right before the shutdown.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
Wow.
I got a little insurance money in March, though, for that. So where other people just had to shut down.
Yeah.
So
that's
helped.
not terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it was the circumstances. But yeah, man, it tore up East Nashville real bad. Real bad. The house I used to live in got almost completely demolished. We moved out of there a couple of years ago. So that was a high point. That was good.
Yeah, but no one likes to see a place that like they have good memories get destroyed.
No, yeah, I know. You can't take away those memories, though.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, we're glad you're here and still standing despite all the hard knocks that 2020 has brought to.
And it's been great since. I don't know. Have you guys? I've kind of enjoyed dentistry. I didn't have to check any hygiene for like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
I was still doing tons of good emergency work. It was kind of like it was a great time for a little while.
Yeah, I was working like 4 hours a day and then working out every day, and like done with everything by like 3:00. It was great. It was great. There's a reason we have you on the show, and we'll get to that in our first question. I mean, we love you, but they're like when this question came across, it was like we have to get Tom on to talk about this question because there's no one else I would rather have.
You're the expert.
Hey guys, this is an advice show, and it doesn't seem like it.
No, it's
only 9 minutes in this time, which is pretty good compared to last week, where I think we're 30 minutes in before we even got to this.
Yeah.
We answer your questions. We answer questions we find on all those neat little dental Facebook groups. We answer questions from Reddit. We strive to help dentists and dental team members with our own unique brand of advice. So please, we need your questions. They are the sustenance we crave. You can submit your questions to workinginterferences@gmail.com. And we don't want just any question, do we, Lance?
Well, it would be a nice change, though.
We don't want a bunch of boring questions like, what's the best chicken of all time? Because we all know that Nashville hot chicken is the greatest chicken ever. We went the questions that Gordon Christensen cannot answer. Do you think Gordon Christensen has ever had Nashville hot chicken?
Ooh, definitely not. No.
It doesn't. He seems like came to do a lecture.
I think he's a milquetoast sort of like. I don't think he likes spicy food. I think
KFC is too salty.
Yeah, I think you would think spicy food is sinful.
Okay, all right.
I don't ever picture Gordon Christensen on Hot Ones. Now I really want to see Gordon Christensen on Hot Ones. No one else.
in hot pants.
Yeah, no one else will know who watches Hot Ones who the fuck Gordon Christensen is, but like there will be 20,000 dentists who are like, fucking rock on, Gordo's on Hot Ones. That would be great. Question 1 from Reader Ryan. Listener Ryan. Dude, please tell me you heard about the Nashville dentist party story. That's a question right there. That's why we have you on, Tom, to talk about
your party.
Nashville. Yeah, the party that you held.
It was a rager.
It was a rager. It was not Tom Hadley. So do you know about this, Tom?
I do know about this.
Okay.
This party was actually in the same zip code as my office.
Wow. So we are like on the ground news, breaking news.
Yes.
About this story. So for anyone who doesn't know, I have the news story brought up here on from NashvilleScene.com.
That's our local weekly free social newspaper.
Okay. Do they have like gay classifieds in there?
Yes, the back page. Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I know it's good, is that there's gay classifieds.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine's in there.
Mayor John Cooper says a stop order has been posted at the Fashion House after a massive party and potential super spreader event. In more ways than one was this a super spreader event, which we will get into in just a minute. At the East Nashville party, East Nashville property over the weekend. Lots of shared images and maskless individuals playing beer pong, smoking hookah, getting tattoos, and I quote, observing a professional analingus administration.
Do you administer analingus?
That's the language that the author of this article used. I would say performing.
Deliver?
When there's a couple thousand people watching. Analingus is an act that has been explicitly discouraged by public health officials amid the pandemic. On a woman in front of a large window.
Well, did they say as long as you had like a hole in a sheet, then...
Yeah, sort of an ass glory hole.
Yeah.
So it turns out that a dentist hosted the party. I guess the house was an Airbnb. And so he got the house on Airbnb. His name is Jeffrey Matthews. He's 36 years old. And he was arrested for 3 counts of violating health orders.
Now, Tom, is he in your study club?
He is not. I know of him, and I know that he is a pretty good dude and like a pretty good dentist. So,
okay.
And I think he's just very connected socially. We have a couple of mutual friends, and the mutual friends are other cool guys, like way cooler than I am. And he's like younger and good looking, and I think he's kind of in the scene.
Okay.
He's in a scene, that's for sure.
He's in a scene for sure. He's in Nashville Scene's website, an article about analingus. So this guy, do you know where he went to school?
Ooh, no, I didn't. I did a little research and I didn't look that up. I don't know where he went to school.
That's okay. So obviously Memphis would be a popular place. I'm assuming he didn't go to
Louisville. Louisville has a lot of.
Okay. What's the one that's in Nashville? Meharry?
Meharry, yeah.
He probably didn't go to Meharry.
He definitely, I don't think, went to Meharry.
Just looking at his picture, I'm pretty sure he didn't go to Meharry. So this guy gets this Airbnb, and it looks like there were
his house. I think he owns the house.
Okay, so I read a couple stories that reported it as an Airbnb. So maybe he owns the house.
I believe
and rent it out as an Airbnb.
He owns the house. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean the pictures and the videos at this party are. I'm guessing there's 1,800 people here.
2,000 was the estimates. Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of people at this party.
And by this party, you mean douchebags.
Oh yeah, well, and a lot of smoke shows.
Yeah. Well, there is some, but kind of like the girl douchebag version. Yeah, I don't know. Not girls you're going to bring home to your mom.
No, but I'm not going to a party with live analingus to meet someone to take home to mom.
Hey, mom, guess how I met her?
So this party was on August 1st.
Yes.
That's like just square in the middle of all this shit. You know, it's not like
we are in
March 15th.
We are in phase fucking 1 no bars, no gatherings, no weddings. And keep in mind, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I sort of have guessed that there's a little bit of a political element to the virus and the response to it. And Tennessee is a red state, but Nashville is a deep blue town. And so we are like very aggressive with all the ordinances. And you can be arrested or ticketed in downtown Nashville right now if you don't have a mask on. So, I mean, we are very aggressive because we had a pretty bad outbreak pretty quickly. So we were trying to get around it, and they were not.
So has there been any fallout from this as far as like they called this a super spreader event? I mean, it's now a month later. Like, did huge cases rise in that? Was there a huge spike in cases?
No, none. Our cases are down. They've been down pretty much the whole month of August. Things either leveled off or started to go down. But that's also when like masking got pretty aggressive.
So if this party, and certainly this was obviously a dumb thing to do, but if it was that big of a deal, like, wouldn't there be 20,000 cases in Nashville right now? Like, I don't know.
You would think so, yeah. And then, so here was one thing. There's a little bit of an outside element to this. There's a place in Vegas called Graffiti Mansion. And if you Google it, you'll see it's basically Nashville Fashion House, Vegas. And they're kind of bringing that here. So that's how I don't know if like Dr. Matthews is connected to these guys in Vegas somehow or something. And he had a buddy help him throw the party. The dude's name was Shy Eubanks, and he's the lead singer of Savage After Midnight. And the music sounds exactly like that name. I don't recommend putting that on the last song. It's one of those like industrial rock, and then the music cuts out, and it's him sounding like he's talking through a phone, and then it goes back to screaming. It's really, really awful. But they this event, I don't even know really what it was for. It wasn't like it was for like a fashion line. It was just a rager, and they had to bring in they had tattoo artists there you could get free tattoos, but no one in Nashville would do it, so they had to bring them in. They had to tell the bartending people. They brought in Pickers vodka from that show Pickers, that they have a vodka line, and then they have like a mobile bar. Well, they got like kind of tricked into giving them their stuff, and so that was like a big problem. So there were like a lot of things, and then most importantly, they brought in at Daddy's Juiced.
Yeah, so I was going to get there, and I
didn't really get ahead of you. So
it's the best. It's literally the best part of the story. Before we get there, did you know about this house? Like a house that has a name like that?
No. So
it's always like Taliesin or something like a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
No. So where the house is in a very transitional area right next to the interstate. That used to be just kind of like I don't know, like parking lots and industrial stuff, and then maybe some lower income housing. But now that's all getting bulldozed, and they're building 3-story, $1.5 million houses. And the area, everyone in Nashville after this party found out that this area is now called the Hills of Nashville. And so it's a new area. And
all those Brentwood kids now want to live in the hills, huh?
No, yeah, you definitely want to live in the hills now. I think all those Brooklyn kids, those Austin kids want to live in the hills now, I think.
Austin's being invaded by Joe Rogan's bring all the California guys to Austin. So now they're going to head to Nashville. And then after that, it'll be, what's the place in North Carolina that's super cool?
Asheville or Charlotte?
Wellington?
Asheville, I think is what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
That's the hipsters who don't shave.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you're going to eat some ass, it's probably best to have a little filter on it. So that's the part of the story that got nuts to me, is that they actually had a quote unquote professional ass eater, which is that an associate's degree, or is that like on-job training? What's the designation? Is there a fellowship that I can get?
It's definitely not cool.
How do you become a professional ass eater?
It's a preceptorship.
It's a preceptorship. Okay. So Tom has the guys.
I eat one, you eat one, we talk. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we do case presentations. So Tom found the guy's Twitter. He's at Daddy's Juiced on Twitter. And just the title just says Ass Man. which is great. He's from Hollywood. And Tom, did you go to his Twitter page?
Immediately.
Did you see the link on his Twitter account?
Do you mean the OnlyFans?
Yes. This gentleman, this professional ass eater, does have an OnlyFans account. And it has 3.3 thousand likes.
Is that
paid
subscribers?
Yeah, 3.3 thousand. Well, I don't know if that's what that means. 3.3, it says 3.3K likes. I don't know if that means 3.3 paid subscribers, but there's no free content on there. Do either of you guys have an account for OnlyFans?
No, I'm looking at it right now.
Let me see how quick I can come up with the login here. And if I can do it by the end of the show, I might just... It's $19.
Oof.
And I feel like there's probably $19 worth of entertainment there. Because I'm assuming you can just shut it off, right? Like I can do it for 1 month and then just shut it off. Right?
Is there a discount for 6 months?
There is. For 3 months, it's 20% off. It's $47.98. That's a lot. I don't think I need a whole quarter of the year devoted to Daddy's juiced ass eating content.
Well, you don't know.
He had some new sister wives.
Yeah,
he does have a lot about sister wives. I saw that on his Twitter. The description on his OnlyFans page says traveling the world and making people smile and coom. COOM, which I'm assuming I know what that means, but I've never heard it or seen it spelled that way.
That's a new one.
Let's just Urban Dictionary coom. Let's see what comes up.
Be careful.
Ejaculate. Okay, cool.
All right.
Got it. How do you even get into this?
Do you fall into it?
I mean, that's the only... It has to just be accidental. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of stuff about sister wives.
He wears 10 rings. He wears a ring on every finger, and there's not an inch of his body that's not tattooed.
On September 7th, he tweeted, and I quote, "I like a girl with the ass that hard to clean."
He spikes it in the end zone from Nashville. Go back to like August 3rd. I guess it was August 3rd, wasn't it?
September 6th, he says, quote, "I love when random people piss on my face."
Okay.
He did go on an anal fishing trip in September. And I don't know what that means, but yeah, let's check out from around the time of the party and let's see what's happening then. August 1st.
He
tweets a lot. He tweets a lot with surprisingly not a, like at the same time, not a lot of stars, not a lot of likes, but also for the content that he's putting out, a lot of likes. August 2nd, I've eaten about 30 assholes this weekend. August 2nd.
Is that
quote,
keto?
It is keto. Yeah, we'll have to ask Matt Standridge. I ate ass in front of 2,000 people last night. I made Fox News for eating ass, baby. Which I think is on one of the Trump bumper stickers this year.
Make ass eating great again?
Yeah. I think we had make boofing great again.
We did.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of ass eating content on this young man's Twitter feed. Which is, an interesting life to lead. And sister wives is a weird thing. A very weird thing. You guys aren't adding a lot into this ass eating conversation, and you're leaving me here on my own. That's making me uncomfortable.
I'm getting all distracted with all the links I keep clicking.
Okay, so he also has something about like a recipe for some kind of food, which I'm not taking like, he's not Martha Stewart. I don't need, it looks like some sort of hearty stew. And again, I don't need like stew recipes from a professional ass eater. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't subscribe to this.
Yeah,
after just reading some tweets. I don't think this is going to be content that I'm going to enjoy.
Maybe.
So, Tom, tell me a little bit about the state of Tennessee as far as their dental examiners or your state dental board. Is this guy going to get tattooed for this? What's going to happen?
Well, so he definitely could do 1129 because of like breaking the law. He's probably going to get like a couple of months probation. And we have one mutual friend that I was hanging out with the other day. And I was like, so listen, is he in the state that like of mine that no publicity is bad publicity? Or is he, contrite and dude interrupted me and was like, no, he is freaking out. Like he feels terrible about this, and apparently he had asked the guy, the promoter, the Shy Eubanks of Savage After Midnight, to please not have this party. And the guy was like, absolutely, we're having this party. But still, apparently Dr. Matthews showed up at the party and he was pictured there. Pretty much the quote of the weekend, other than I ate 30 assholes this weekend, was the Eubanks guy has a tweet that said, I'm not going to apologize for being legendary, as they're like scooping up piles of trash. And it's pretty money because I guess it was a pretty legendary party. I didn't know about it. I wasn't invited. But
so do you know what his practice name is?
So he apparently, there is one. I do know one is Gulch. The Gulch is kind of a swanky area in Nashville. It's like a swanky hipster, like wealthy area near downtown. So there's two, and I don't want to mistake that. I think it's Gulch Cosmetic Dentistry.
Yeah, I'm on their website right now.
That's what I'm looking at. So I'm on their Google reviews.
Yeah, and so that got pretty much.
2.8.
Yeah, a little bit.
2.8 stars, 22 reviews. My good buddy and owner of Oral Arts Dental Laboratory, Matt Winstead, did leave a review, 5-star review. Dr. Jeff Matthews is an excellent clinician of dentistry in terms of procedures as well as sanitary practices in the office. Jeff understands both preventive and aesthetic dentistry is up to date on the latest advancement in dental technology. They provide his patients with the best standards of care. I would recommend Dr. Matthews to any relatives or friends looking for a good dentist. So he's had a few friends go on there and leave a couple of good reviews, but he was getting.
Is that after the event?
That's after. Yeah, those were all like the Winstead review was a week ago. About a month ago, he got a good number of 1-star reviews.
That raises a point that I actually kind of wanted to bring up with you guys. That this pisses me off so bad because we all deal with this. If my brother goes out and shoots a lion, it's kind of bad. Yeah. If any of us goes out and shoots a lion, it's 100 times worse.
Right.
And the same goes for having an ass eating party. If a dentist does it, it's 1,000,000 times worse. And it's on TMZ and in the New York Post and everything. And is it not because it was a dentist that it's like so much worse? Is that a thing?
There is the like wanting to see dentists fail. It's one of those things. I say it all the time when I talk about sort of the just public perception in dentistry and how we have to be really careful about our reputations because we're going to get smeared no matter, if we take one step out of line, we're going to get smeared way harder than anybody else. Speaking of Gulch Cosmetic Dentistry, their SEO does need a little work because when I searched for his name, it came up Gulch Cosmetic Dentistry, Nashville's finest dentist, but they misspelled the word dentist. So this is the first ever dentist website I've ever seen that literally misspelled the word dentist in the title page. So
not so good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the bio. So he went to University of Tennessee College of Dentistry. Is there more than one?
No, that's Memphis. Yeah, that's Memphis.
So that's Memphis? Okay.
It looks like there's a couple dentists there. A guy named Scott Harris. And then Jeffrey Matthews, and Clint Newman.
So Clint is another dentist in the area, and it has a similar name. And
that's Gulch Dental Studio. Okay,
yes,
that's
exactly.
the one. That's the one that has the misspelled website.
I'll have to let him know that.
Yeah, you should let him know. Here we go. Yeah, here's Jeff Matthews.
He's a real good dentist. He's so good he can spell. He probably misspelled.
He's so good he doesn't need to know how to spell dentist.
Yeah. I mean, he really is. He's that good.
Yeah. So it looks like he's 30. He's 36. So that would have made him graduate in maybe 2010. I'm guessing somewhere in that neighborhood, 2010, 2011. Man, he's doing pretty well if he has that house. I'm guessing multi-million-dollar house, as a rental property or whatever.
It'd be like that house would be somewhere 750 to 1.5. Kind of it could range.
So he's not doing bad for himself, which is cool. It looks like he did not get any jail time for this. Part of that maybe just
he's I think due in court in 2 weeks.
It looks like so far he's just been sentenced to having to do community service, COVID-related community service. I don't really know what that means. I don't know how that would be
hand out masks,
related.
Handing out gloves. Here's some wet wipes.
How many dentists are in the Nashville metro area, would you say? 500?
Not quite.
Okay.
Maybe 300, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. There's about 600,000 people.
When you heard that a dentist threw a party like this, was he like, "Oh, it was him"?
No, I don't know him. No.
Or you were surprised when you heard it?
I did. This is the first I ever really heard of him. I kind of once I heard who he was, I was like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. We don't really know. Okay. But I mean, he has a good reputation amongst dentists. So
okay, well, that's good.
Good.
I'm always one to forgive things like this, especially if someone shows remorse, and it certainly seems like he shows remorse. My hunch is that he, like you said, I think probably some conversation was like, "Oh yeah, we should throw a cool party there. Oh yeah, that'd be fun." And then the other guy decides to actually plan it all. It's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that party is going down." What? What do you mean? Like, no, we can't do this. Like, oh no, it's already happening. So I think he just ended up kind of getting
is booked.
Yeah, I think he just got drug along on this, and just ended up kind of becoming a deal. But I don't know. I did find some videos of him dancing and stuff like that. It definitely looked like he was intoxicated, having a good time. So at that point, you're kind of complicit in the whole deal. It's at your house. You're on video dancing. You look up from where he's dancing, and there's literally a man eating a woman's ass in the window. Jesus. What? The only thing I could think of when I read the headline that was like dentist throws party in Nashville with tattooing, drugs, alcohol, and professional ass eating, all I could think to myself is that Louis Armstrong, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And it just like, wow, holy shit, this is a weird time.
I think that was the soundtrack of the event.
Of the party, they just like a dubstep version of that song.
Yeah.
Lance, what would you do if your daughters went to a party like this?
I would lose my shit. Internally. But I mean, they're adults, so I try to, you do what you do, but that's, I never would have thought to throw a party like that or that they would go to one like that, but.
Well, I mean, so I try to think back to like myself at the age of 20.
Mm-hmm.
If I was 20 now and how dumb shit I was at 20 when there was no social media and, no one had cameras and all that shit.
I am so lucky that there were no cameras.
We're so lucky. We are all so lucky because we would have absolutely done some stupid shit like this in Austin.
Pretty sure I'd have gone
in college. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're just lucky that there wasn't cameras around and social media around.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, if you would have gotten invited to this party, yay or nay?
Well, I don't know. I'd probably been the oldest one there. They'd be like, the gray, like the silver fox is coming through now. And I don't know, man.
You're the chaperone.
Yeah.
No, man, the chicks love the silver fox thing, man.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's just what I need.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have at least driven by. At least, and then I probably would have got out of the car because it looked so awesome. So
yeah.
That's like, I sort of want to see the party and see it for a couple minutes and then bounce. Like, I do not want to be like 11:30. I'm like, damn, I really want to be home.
Yeah.
Watching like last week's Ancient Aliens. I don't want to be here.
Yeah,
I want to
started at midnight, probably also.
Oh God. See,
you remember that?
Like, so I'm looking here and the pictures are all like, they have, some of them have timestamps and it's all like 12:40 a.m., 1:35 a.m. I mean, and it's like, it's obviously going strong. You know, like we throw a party at our house. It starts at 8. By midnight, like I'm done washing the dishes. You know what I mean? And it's just like everything has changed as far as the dynamics of sort of adult parties as we've gotten older. And I would be, if, you know, I think back to like college days or whatever. And like, I'm sure I would have gotten drugged to this by a girl or by a woman. And I would just be miserable, you know, being out that late now. It just seems miserable. It just seems really miserable. So Tom, when are you going to have a party at your house? You got to have a rager now soon, right? Like every dentist is going to have to outdo this.
So just to put it in perspective, we wanted to have my 5-year-old a blow up slip and slide party that we canceled after this because we were worried.
You don't want the bad optics. You don't want that heat.
Local dentist has a 5-year-old's birthday party, and I'm going to be in the Nashville scene. Fuck that. So we canceled.
Well, I mean, as long as you don't have ass eating at the 5-year-old's birthday party.
I don't know what kind of 5-year-old birthday party you've been to, but that's kind of, man, you know, there's the balloon artist and the clown, and then there's the ass eating now. So kids these days.
Do you face paint? Do you do the face painting before the ass eating, or is that after?
I think you should do it after. Okay. Yeah.
All right. I got to keep the sequence. So
I really think you should do it. I think you should do it after.
Okay.
Tom, do you know sort of what our rule is about ending the show?
With a song?
Yeah. So I want you to be thinking about your song because as a guest, you get to pick the song. So I want you to be thinking about it while we hit the closing notes of the show. Hey, do you have any friends who are really into professional ass eating, like the Professional Ass Eating Association, where they have those weekly matches that are on ESPN 8, the Ocho?
Is it unionized? Do they have a union?
Yeah, no, there is a players association. There is an ass eaters association. Yeah, right. It's a pretty stiff membership fee though, and I do believe they have an antitrust exemption, which was big when they got that. I think they're a 501c3, because there can't be any profit in professional ass eating, right? There just can't be. Share this with your friends. Let them know about the show. That's how we grow the show, one new listener at a time. Hey, hit us up with a rating. Lance, what's your favorite number?
I'm a big fan of 5.
I love the number 5 too. All I can think about is Jim Zorn, who famously wore a number 5 for the Seahawks.
Number 10.
Okay, whatever. Just be happy I remembered the name Jim
Zorn. All right.
How about Dave Craig?
17.
Jesus. All right, we're getting further away.
Yeah.
How about Russell Wilson?
3.
Yeah, so we don't want the 3.
No.
I'd rather have 17 stars than 3.
Yeah, I'll go with the 17.
iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. If you're flicking through Podbean, flick 5 stars. Hit us up on the web, workinginterferences.com. Hit us up on all the social bullshits. Facebook, Working Interferences with Josh and Lance. Funny shit for dentists and dental team members. Twitter, @Winterferences, or @Daddy's Juiced. Instagram, Lance's Dr. Timmerman DMD. Tom, what's your Instagram?
I don't know. I don't know. Someone from my office does it. I don't know.
Do you have a flip phone?
@Daddy's Juiced on Instagram for Tom. You can find me on Instagram @Joshua Austin DDS. Smash that follow button. Tom, tell us about your song.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna go with a little stick figure. I was gonna drop some 311 on you, but I know that's kind of dad rock.
I was expecting 311.
I was, that was a good expectation. But stick figure is a descendant of 311, who I would credit with Sublime introducing us all to the jams of white guy reggae. Cali Roots is if you're into that sort of thing. Stick Figure is probably one of the biggest bands today in that genre, and I would say that everybody should go see them. Are there any girl listeners? Do you guys have girl listeners?
Well, we have Gina.
Not really.
Not really.
I mean, Gina's like our number one queen.
With a bullet.
Yeah. So we know we have Gina.
Well, if you're trying to get your swerve on, you put a little stick figure on.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of a panty dropper.
Okay.
So,
Stick Figure is an American reggae and dub band founded in 2006 based in SoCal. The group released 7 full-length albums and 1 instrumental album, all of which were written and produced by frontman and self-taught multi-instrumentalist Scott Woodruff, which seems like something Lance would be into, is a self-taught multi-instrumentalist.
Boom.
They're from Danbury, or the band is originally from Danbury, MA, I guess, Danbury, Massachusetts, but I guess they formed in Southern California, or they're based in Southern California.
One guy, and then they tour with a band, but the one dude, Scott, does all the music. So.
There is a guy in the band named Kevin Bong.
It's a K-Bong.
K-Bong.
Okay.
K-Bong.
Nice. I wonder, how do you get a name like K-Bong when you play reggae music? I have no idea.
It's all the Bible study.
Exactly. It's all that Leviticus. For Tom, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. It was fun talking ass eating with you and the local Nashville ass eating scene.
Hey, are you gonna pick a song or Stick Figure?
No, yeah, I thought you said what song. So what song from Stick Figure?
Angels Above Me.
Angels Above Me. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you already picked it. Angels Above Me. Looks like this is a pretty big song for them.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Good. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it. I don't know anything about Stick Figure, so I'll be interested to hear this panty dropping swerve that K-Bong puts out. Thanks for coming on, Tom. We appreciate it. For Tom Hadley, for Lance Timmerman, I'm Josh Austin. Peace. What do we say now? Oh yeah, stay fresh, cheese bags.
Run, run, river, carry me home to the ocean. The river and the road take me home to the ocean. The friends in my life, like stars in the sky, leave the lights on. I'm trying to get back home. The river keeps on flowing to the ocean. The angels above me, they sing that they love me, oh Lord. I'm traveling alone, so far from home and Lord. Oh no, angels, please don't leave. I'm trying to get to her with the love she deserves, Lord, please. Playing my guitar, laying underneath the stars for you. In the light of the moon, I'll be forever singing tunes for you. When the stars are aligned, like the colors in your eyes, greens and blues. It's not when or whether we'll always be together, it's true. Me, they sing that they love me, oh Lord. I'm traveling alone, so far from home and Lord. Oh no, angels, please don't leave. I'm trying to get to her with the love she deserves, Lord. love for me is all I need to keep believing. And the angels above me, they sing that they love me, oh Lord. I'm traveling alone, so far from home and alone. On the way, angels, please don't leave. I'm trying to get to her with the love she deserves, Lord, please. Oh, please, don't leave me. Only me.